Welcome to another episode of Women in Focus. This particular woman, I have known her for many years, but I just picked up some courage the other day and asked her to be our Woman in Focus today. Usually we interview women who are connected with the South Asian community, and I somehow connected her with our community, and you'll find out in the interview how I connected her. Her name is Mitsy Tsoukas, and she is our Woman in Focus today. Mitsy, you're most welcome in our program. How are you doing?
Good, I'm good. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
So happy to be here.
Yeah, lovely to have you. You know, you were a little girl when I first started coming to your dad's restaurant.
Yeah, I remember that.
The neighbors.
Yes.
So, when did you start going in and helping him?
Well, I think, we grew up in the restaurant, right?
Right.
Our parents having a restaurant, it was just somewhere we were, throughout the day at one point or another, we'd be there. But I think for me, 8, 9 years old is when it really started to, I could do this, and now I could do that. And staff would, front of house ask us to do things to keep us busy. So, yeah, it's been a long journey. Fun, for sure.
But a lot of fun.
A lot of fun, yeah. And then I think at about 15, 16 is when, you're in high school and everyone's kind of, what are you going to do when you graduate?
Right.
Just all I wanted to do was the restaurant. Like, it's just something that really was in me, and I enjoyed it, and it was just something new every day, and the interaction with the people, and it was very close to my dad, right?
Yes.
And so he was there hours, long hours, right? So there you go, right?
So you picked it up on that.
I did,
but it became a passion for you. So would you say, is it the food or is it meeting people?
Oh, it's a combination, right?
Yeah.
So, mostly front of house. That's obviously, as a younger girl, that's where I started. And now later on, I've graduated to the kitchen, right? As the years have gone on. But front of house. There's imagine in a restaurant the action that goes on, right? So people and families, and really, it sounds cliche, but it's the connection, right? So because we are a neighborhood place and we've been there, now 40 years, but back then it was about 20 something. So you see the regulars like you and Sadna and Sadir, and you get to, so I remember you from when I was a little girl, like sham and jewelry years and days, right? Going down the street. I remember being 7, 8, 9 with my mom and going, and so yeah, there's a lot of memories.
And beautiful ones too.
Absolutely.
It's one of those restaurants, as you mentioned, neighborhood restaurant. So the South Asian community is crazy about your restaurant.
Huge support, huge support. The cultures are very similar.
Yes.
Right? And
it's because of Alexandra.
We've talked about this. Where the souvlaki, where the dish comes from. So, huge following, right? And I think it's my dad's recipe of the lasagna is a hit, right? Because it has that little bit of sweetness and the cinnamon, and so it's something, and they ask for their spice in it. You have your special spice you like. Everyone has their way of having it, but huge support.
The other thing that I think is very beautiful about your restaurant, there are a lot of other Greek restaurants, and I go to Greek restaurants because I like Greek food. So if you guys are closed or not available at lunchtime, I would go to a Greek restaurant. I always check out the salad that they make. Your salad is totally different.
I agree because I'm Greek and I eat out too, right? I'm not like my first thing I want to do is go to another Greek restaurant, but it does happen.
Yes.
But the dressing, our house dressing, that we use on the Greek salad, it's not just, people just think, oil and vinegar.
Right.
There's not. There's about 13, 14 different ingredients in there. The spices, the oregano, the feta cheese, and it's something that, and then the vegetables that you use, right?
Yes.
Everything is hand cut and fresh, and we pick, double A produce and shop around, and it's tough. Restaurant business is just,
it has been a very, it is a tough business. Having said that, a business that would go down very quickly could be a restaurant business. Business that would go up very quickly, we saw that at COVID time, was a restaurant business. But there are pitfalls as well. And if you don't have good produce, then it is not a good restaurant.
I think it's the consistency, right? So with our type of restaurant, I believe we stayed successful because we stayed true to what we were, right? So The recipes stayed the same, followed through, 40 years in business. I keep saying it, but it's 40 years. Like, it's not, that's a big, it's a lifetime, right? It's dedication of my mom and my dad, and then of course, the kids helping out, and now here we are, right? Moving forward, right? And the years have passed, and, rain's getting passed over, and really staying true to who we are, a good plate of food, good ingredients, same recipes, and good service, ambience, a little bit of everything coming together. And there you go, there's the recipe, right? And it's work every day. Don't think that it's just you've done it and it's gonna stay like that.
It's
every day it's like a tune-up. You come in and I'm like, why is the dough's not like this? And why, okay, the steaks came in and they're not, send those, but it's and shopping around to make sure that we can keep our prices, because that's a whole another thing that we're in, right? So restaurant business is stay on your toes, and a lot of risks, right? And it's hard. There's not much easy about it, but you have to love it.
Yes.
Then you can do it, and it's not work.
Yeah. If
second nature.
Yeah. Exactly. If you love it, I think you can make a go of anything, right? And in your business, I think you mentioned people and support from people. There are people who come and hug you guys.
Yeah.
It's like family.
Yeah. COVID nearly, honestly, I'd never been, we were all depressed, but when we did the takeout for that 8 months, I was like, I guess I'm gonna get a new job, because I can't just hand someone a bag and tell them they're total and thank you very much. Like, I wanna hug you, I wanna know how your mom is, how your knee pain was, how was the cruise, the graduate, and just the daily stuff, not just the milestones, but the connection. And it's authentic. I don't make a connection with everybody that walks through, but it happens easily because I'm curious. I want to know, okay, so that table, they've come now 3 times. Where are they from? How did this, so they moved into the River District, so, and you have to appreciate, someone's coming to, it's like a home.
Yes.
It's not just a business,
That's
right?
Yes.
So, it's not for everyone, right? And some people that just meet or learn, my story or how my life is, they're like, whoa, that's like a little bit, wow, you work that much, or you do this or that. And I'm like, but that's what I do.
Yeah.
And it's what I love, right? So, yeah, it's restaurant life.
I want to talk a little bit about your growing up, because that has had a lot of impact on the way you think about life, and of bringing up your child as well. So let's take a short commercial break and come back.
All right.
Mitsy of the Neighbors Restaurant is our Woman in Focus today. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Women in Focus. Our Woman in Focus today is Mitsy, and she is associated, owns the Neighbors Restaurant. So Mitsy, it's a family business.
It is.
So let's talk about family. Mom and Dad, when did they come to Canada?
In the 60s, 66 I think it was, right? I think 28 days they knew each other, got married, and there you go, 56 years later, right? That was a thing, right? Can you imagine the commitment? Our generation, we don't have it, we don't know it.
And the generation after us?
Forget it.
Forget it.
It's not gonna happen, right? But there's something to be said, and we hear it, came to this country with nothing and built this empire, and very humble. And I wish our generation picked up more, but I think our parents coming, of course, wanted to provide as much as they could, right? It was like, I'm here and let me do this. And so I think there's a lot of coddling, right? A little silver spooning and a little of not, the tough love. And so I think there's a reflection, you see it in our generation of how it kind of trickles down, right? But look what they did, right? They came here and they worked hard. So hard. They brought family, in-laws, my grandparents, and so similar with South Asian, community and upbringing of the grandparents living in the household. That's how I grew up. Mom and Dad, of course, worked endless hours because we did lunch and dinner. And so, of course, preparation and all of that. And they had a slew of other restaurants too, some cafes and food courts, but Neighbors was the core, right? And I grew up with grandma in the household, right? So like a second mom, I learned how to speak Greek. I went to Greek school, and
really?
Yeah. And so having a yaya that doesn't speak English and that it was a little bit different, right? So when you're at school and your friend's going to Girl Guides, but you're going to Greek school. And
No, Greeks and Indians are very
Very similar.
Yeah, have to have the language.
Yes. And so I'm doing that to my son now.
Oh, is he learning that?
Yeah. So he's going to Greek school, although he's doing it tutored at home. I just feel like it's a stronger a connection, and it's important to me.
Right.
It really is. There's certain things that in our culture I think, it's a bit extreme.
Yes.
But the language, some of our religion, and really our beliefs and our morals and our values. If we lose that, then what are we?
Exactly. So what did you think of that movie that came out, My Big Fat Greek Wedding?
Yeah, it was, laugh your sides out, right? So it was like a lot of so much. You're like, oh my goodness, like that's exactly how it is. And it's true. Yeah, it's true, right? Like, my yaya wore the black too, right? So it's like, she'd come pick you up from school or walk or whatever. So
and she would wear black because...
all black because Grandpa died, right? So Grandpa died.
So all her life she had to wear black?
Whole life. Only navy blue for a wedding. That's it.
And in the Indians, they wear white.
White. Yeah.
See, only white. Nothing else. And my mother wore white at everybody's wedding. Yeah. But maybe a little bit of red in there.
Color, a sash, right? Yeah, Grandma wore navy blue. One time I think she was like a burgundy. It was like, oh, Yaya was stepping out.
So when you are you the oldest in the family?
I'm the youngest. There's four of us. I'm the youngest. Yeah. So there's 3 girls, 1 boy. I'm the youngest, and so there was like the older 2, a little gap, and then the younger 2. But we all had a lot of helping in the restaurant, right? Particularly the older 2, because we were younger. And then time went on, right? And then, it's like everyone kind of went their own paths, their own careers, marriages, children, what have you, right? But the thing is this, it doesn't matter where we are right at this moment and moving forward and another location coming and the move and all of that. Neighbors will always be a part of that.
Yes.
That doesn't change, right?
No.
Like the connection we have as people, whether it's a home, your house you grew up in, but the business. Neighbors, in a sense, it's not about the pizza and the food and the Greek food, but what they've all put into, and you'll never be able to take that away. And who would want to, right? So you want to, enhance that and, tip your hat and say thank you, because everyone had a part at some point in time. There's a season, there's a reason, it all comes together. And I'm grateful, right? Like it's not a one-man show. No. It never has been.
Restaurant business can never be, especially a family-owned business.
Yeah.
Family-owned. So the whole family is in there.
Everybody is, right? Yeah. And so it's hard too, when I think back, having the family, so mom and dad in the kitchen, and then, the tension that can happen, or the little spats in that, right? There's fun times, good, bad, ugly, whatever.
And fighting.
Of course, right? So, it's different now, right?
Yes.
We're staffed up. We're the exception, I think, in the type of restaurants that we have. We have staff that have been with us 40 years this year we've been open.
Yes.
37 to 39 years.
Wow.
So it's unheard of. Like when people hear they're like, yeah, right. I'm like, no, really? Yeah. Like I met him when I was 7.
Yes.
Right? Like now I'm the owner of the business.
That's right.
And running it. But we've treated well. They've treated us well.
Yes.
We've stayed true to what we are. We've provided a good working place and what the industry standard provides plus some. And it means something, right? So, we're super, super lucky in that sense, right? I'm happy to walk in, knock on wood, walk in and have that crew, because it's a force, right, that you need when it's busy and it's that night and you've got a line full of bills, and now it's a different caliber. The pickups and the Ubers and the skips, you need a strong team. And we have it, and I'm really grateful for them.
That's fantastic. So has the Uber and Skip the Dishes made a difference? Does it take it out of your profit?
Well, it's tough to, I would think was like the last to join, right? Because we've always had our own delivery, so I've always just that concept, like my dad, right? His leadership, his guidance, keep it in-house, we have our own drivers, they do other tasks, the yin and the yang. But this is like a phenomenon. Who would have thought? COVID brought it to light. A couple years before, I had a couple other outlets of ordering. I had tried Just Eats or something, but this is crazy. Yeah. This is on another level of like, even before I came here, I Ubered my drink, my smoothie, because I was late, and it's like you pay that few extra dollars, but it's convenience.
It is convenient.
And that's a generational thing. Like if I told you what, you would be like, you paid what? Like, like a mom, you know what I mean? Like that's great. I would go, so but it's there, and it's an audience I don't think we can reach without Uber.
Right.
They have their ways of marketing. It's convenience. I find I do it like if my son has soccer or swimming.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, we'll be home 7:30. I'll order that. What do you want? Done, 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 done. Leave it on the back porch. Out of sight, out of mind, finished. I don't have to worry about it.
Come home, food is there.
There,
no worry.
magic.
I know that you have a son and apple of your
Love
eye.
of my life.
Yes, and love of your
Yeah.
life. I want to talk a little bit about him. Let's take a short break and come back.
Sounds good.
Mitsy is our Woman in Focus today. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Women in Focus. Mitsy from the Neighbors Restaurant is here as a Woman in Focus today. And I love your food, and that's the reason why I wanted to talk to you. Mitsy, you're a single parent like I am. How beautiful or difficult is it?
You know what? If I would have known what motherhood was,
Yes.
I'd probably be that mom with 5 or 6, I swear.
Really?
Yeah, based on Vincenzo, I don't know if I would have gotten something else for the first one, who knows. But yeah, he's an incredible old soul that has changed my outlook on life big time. And
Beautiful.
blessing, yeah, biggest blessing, yeah.
So now you and him have a beautiful relationship.
We do, yeah, we do.
And are you teaching him the way your parents taught you?
In a lot
about
of
life?
Yeah, I think so. In a lot of ways, you know, I am. Sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I sound like my mom, right?
Yes.
But there's a lot of things that I didn't want to do with my kid, right? So European households, there's a lot of like noise and the screaming, and it's like it's the tone, right, of how you relay something. So I think when it's just one-on-one, it changes the dynamic of how things are. And I see it even when we're invited on play dates and there's a family of 3 or 4 kids. You're like, whoa, that just, it's impeding.
Right.
In my household, it's all yours. Who are you arguing with? Like, you know what I mean?
That's
so,
right.
But I think I've always treated Vincenzo not like a little kid. I don't want to make him an adult, and not negotiate,
Right.
but at the same time, this is what it is,
Right.
and let's just move forward with it, but let's not lie about, I'm the parent and you're the child. That doesn't work, right?
No. So that's the way you're bringing him up.
I think so, yeah, in a lot of ways, right? I just want him we want the best for our kids. What am I
Yes.
doing all of this that I'm doing for? Not
Right.
myself, well, some, yes, but for him. Everything I'm doing is to set a life for him so he has a way. Like I was given a gift, right? To have a child, right? And so I didn't think I could, and I did, and he was a blank canvas when they gave him to me. So why not invest the time and energy to, make him blossom? My job as a parent is to raise a responsible boy that I can send into society as a man that will do well. If I fail now, then it's on me, right?
Yes.
So if I don't set these roots now, and it's not about having the best of the best and all these gadgets we give them and,
Yes.
outings and, he knows how to order Uber and it's not about that. It's really nurturing him the wrong and the right and the compassion and the kindness and to be real. And so now I look at this little 9-year-old when I take him to school and he's with the staff,
Yes.
having a good convo, and after school he'll go visit his, teacher he had
Right.
last year, and so he's left a mark on people, right? And so I just never want him to feel the pressure that he has to, have a front or be
Yes.
that shining. You can be, whatever you want to be right now at this moment, right? But I've always said no lying in my household, and always tell the truth and we can fix it.
Right.
So.
And he follows that.
Yeah, he does. We've had a few hiccups, but he's a really good boy.
Now, being a parent and then working at a demanding job, are you able to go out for holidays with him?
Well, pre-COVID we would. It was like once a year, and then we started doing the Greece once a year as well, and then COVID brought that to a halt, right? So he's been on more vacations than some adults. He's 9, so he loves to travel. And then it's difficult with the job that I have.
Yes.
For a 9-year-old to understand and have patience.
And he does?
He does.
That's beautiful.
It really is, and I really try not to push it too much, right? Which, when your 9-year-old's asking you, did someone call in sick? Or do you have to, you know, I don't want him to get too used to it, right? Because I don't want him thinking that the restaurant takes precedence, right? And so my staff's very understanding too. They know my Mondays and Tuesdays are for Vin and his activities.
Right.
And so it's a combined effort and it's work, but we make it work.
Now, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
I'm excited.
Good for you.
There's some stuff coming.
Yeah.
So they're redeveloping where we're at now, which we've known for a long time.
Right.
And it was a hunt for a place for a few years, kind of in the back burner. COVID hit, tossed it upside down. Who knew if we would even be alive? Never mind build a restaurant.
That's
right? I just kind of
yes.
stopped that for a minute. And then it was like, okay, we're doing this. And so I searched high and low in this city, and we went all over the map of the Lower Mainland, and luckily we found a really great place on 35th and Victoria.
Fantastic.
Too good to be true, right?
Yes.
Like when I saw it, I was like,
You've been there.
I don't know. I know, right?
Yeah.
39th, 49th, now 35th.
Yeah.
I'm like, could this be happening?
Yes.
Corner location, good square footage, like it's ready to go. I don't have to really do other than cosmetic. And so that's where we're going. So it's projected the next 4 or 5 months, if everything kind of goes as planned with the design team. We're going to be there. And, you know, I don't know, hopefully another 40? I don't
think
know.
more than that.
Who knows, right? It's, you know, I want to revamp Neighbors, but just wee bits, because it's, I'm not going to say it's perfect the way it is, but it's pretty close.
It is.
Right?
Fantastic.
Something just fresh.
Yes.
The community deserves it. Right?
Certainly does.
Yeah, they deserve to walk in and just be like, huh, we're home again.
There you go.
I don't want it too fresh, too new, fancy, cold. I want it to be warm and what we all deserve, my staff, the customers, ourselves. And I'm excited. I'm excited. There's something to be said about that area, Victoria Drive.
Yes.
Up and coming and lots of
Lovely.
places.
Beautiful.
So,
Beautiful area. And what do you see for your son?
big things.
Good for
I
you.
hope. Yeah, big things. Yeah, I'm looking forward to see. Yeah, he's a special boy, right?
Yes.
And so, you know, do I want to say I hope he's not involved in restaurants? I hope he dabbles a little bit.
Yes.
Because he's going to learn things that no school will teach him.
Yes, that's true.
But he's far too smart and unique of a boy.
He has a smart mother. See, that's why.
Thank you. I want him to do well in life, and whatever it is, you know, his fate and his, it's there. It's written and it's for him,
Yes.
and he'll find it.
He will. Mm-hmm. I thank you so much for accepting to be our Woman in Focus today.
This was beautiful. I enjoyed it. Thank you,
Thank you.
Shushma. Love you.
Mitsy has been our Woman in Focus today. Don't go away. We'll be right back.